Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. Today we are here on part 2 of surviving Pertam, and the main thing I wanted to do today was create this mining rover. Alright, so this mining rover is the respawn pod itself, and it took a bit of time to create because of many things. One, the storm damaged it quite a bit, and I was trying to figure out a good design for it and try to keep it the same spec, but it looks okay. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but here's the time lapse of the build. Alright, so quickly let's go over what I did with this rover. And the first things first is add wheels, as you see here. I got rid of the survival kit here and turned it into a connector and also a medium cargo container in here. And it's all connected to the cockpit and then into this piston and then this drill. So you'll see up here, that's the connector for the top of the medium cargo into the cockpit there. I try to keep the design as close as possible to the original, but of course I did have to change it up a little bit because of the cockpit look. And yeah, I originally had added another battery in place of the O2H2 generator that was here, but the storm took that out, and I think the likelihood of the storm or lightning hitting this rover was because I had an antenna up here, but I took that out and haven't gotten a storm just yet. So let's see if that helps. But yeah, so the main thing is a 4-wheel rover. I added a piston in the front to make a further drilling effort, and I added some wheels that has no steering or propulsion. One, because it's stuck on a subgrid piston anyway, so it's not gonna do anything. But if I get on it, if I hit my reverse button, it extends it quite a little bit, so then we don't get stuck into a hole, which I kind of did at one point. So this kind of helps that, or resolves that issue. So it looks okay. I mean, it's not the best design in the world. I originally had 2 drills in the front, but it was too heavy, so I converted it to just 1 drill at a time for now. It doesn't really carry a lot, but it's good enough for the time being. Plus, it's my first rover, so now I can easily look for like unknown signals if we need to get to them. So it looks like we got a new unknown signal here, which I would like to get to because it does contain parts, and that'll be great to have. So let's go and take a quick little adventure over there, and you'll see here all the meteors pretty much destroy the ground here, and it kind of gives me some materials, which is good, but not too much. I did collect some iron from there originally to start building out the rover a little bit more, but eventually I did go out off camera to look for more unknown signals and did find a few iron deposit spots. And the rover itself, it's a little hard to get to because I have to drill a nice diagonally down tunnel with it, but I couldn't do it that efficiently, so I just hand drilled and got a bunch of iron for my refinery for now. But everything's alright for the time being. Alright, so we just made it. Let's park our rover. Let's check what we can get from the unknown signal. And we got a rainbow grinder, which is pretty useless to me. Let's just grind it out. So the parts itself is more important, and we got medkit and some credits. That's not as good. And the battery we could just take apart. We should probably keep them if we can in future. We could use that to charge up and not waste the batteries. But for now, we're just gonna grind it up. I know we can get a lot of steel plates or whatever just grinding these down, but it's a little bit annoying to do. But I think later on I still need to make another rover so I can use that to collect or scout. We're gonna use it to scout around for unknown signals and then collect them and bring them back. So that way I can potentially build a scrap yard or a scrapping station, so then we can just scrap everything that we find that's you know, unknown signals. And of course, finding ores and stuff like that is always the same case. It's in Pertam, it's white. So you find these spots. There's likely going to be ore here, and looks like we have cobalt and iron here. So that's perfect. So of course, we're going to add the cobalt and iron into the GPS, and we can eventually come back and drill here. I might make a drilling station or maybe a drilling truck. I don't know what I want to do just yet. I have very little mats right now, so that's the biggest problem. So I got to continue to drill with this rover and keep scouting around to see what I can find. And then eventually maybe make a drilling platform or so right here. Drill out all the stone, drill out all the iron and cobalt, and then, you know, maybe use a truck or maybe some kind of conveyance system to bring it back to the tent or my initial base. So that's going to be a bit of time. That's a future project. Today was more about building out the rover, which I did. Took quite some time, but it's successful. It drives well. It drills okay. It doesn't carry too much. But that's the biggest problem I have with it. Alright, so we got the unknown signal. I think this thing can kind of go down pretty steep hills. Yep, we can, which is perfect. And I want to kind of travel a little bit further down to this other deposit I see, which is over there. So it's a white little spot on the ground. And yeah, it looks like and in one of the comments, one of you guys told me that I should have stayed in the mountainous area because a lot more ore than it does in the flatter areas, and it does seem like it. So, oh well, that's my mistake, but it's good to learn from that, and thanks for the comment. Alright, so here we have nickel. Okay, so we don't need a market for now because I usually don't need nickel too quickly. And the craziest part is I never really marked my base because I don't have an antenna, which I should build one for the lightning, and one so I can find my base. But it's tall enough that I can find it now, so it's a good thing. So I didn't lose it. It looks like we're passing by some gold, some nickel. Gold is in the meteor crater, so that's not something useful. Well, it's kind of useful. It's not a lot of material resources. And we haven't got hit by the meteor just yet. The storm, yes, but not a meteor. So that's the biggest problem we have so far. And I changed it up a little bit, as you see here with the base. I was able to add a few more things, which is perfect. So number one, I added the turbine to be a little bit higher than where it used to be. Honestly, it's only like 2 or 3 blocks up, so that didn't really change too much. I was gonna add a ladder system on the side so I could climb up to make any fixes or extend some turbines at any point in time, but I didn't have enough mats for it. And luckily, I found some mats, so I was able to do a few things. So number one, as I mentioned before, I moved the survival kit from the Rover into the base. I had to move the assembler a little bit, so I moved it there on top of the cargo container. And then I added a connector here so I could connect the Rover here to recharge and also deposit materials that were found. Whoa, that was super close. Alright. Yeah. What did you give me here? Not even sure what that is. Alright, so that was a super close one. Luckily, nothing happened. Also in the comments, there was a suggestion to make a small battery for the base, which I've done here, which is the small battery connected to a hinge, and that kind of powers up the base for now, along with the turbine. So not much going on here. This base did get pelted by lightning as well, so I started patching up some areas so that the refinery and more important parts are not destroyed. Looks like I put a slope block over here by mistake too. So let's just probably fix that. Alright, so the lightning does destroy, you know, the steel plates or the light armor block very easily, especially when it's not like all built up. So it was ideal to start building them up as much as possible. And to do that, I need a lot of steel plates. So I started doing that just to, in certain areas, just to protect the refinery, the assembler, and all that. So just in case we get another storm, we don't get like completely destroyed, especially the survival kit. It's very important. So we're gonna have to leave it like that for now. And then eventually I'll probably add another battery over here, just so it gets more power. Right now it's not too bad. It's got like 2 days of power, so it's perfectly fine. But once I start moving it does go a little bit less. And then if I start using the drill itself, it'll be even less from there. But in terms of drilling with this guy, not too bad. I mean, we could park it. We don't have to park it. At the same time, hit the drill. So I have it on a left click drill right now. And I just hit the extend piston part here. So it doesn't extend too far. So it's not too crazy. But the best thing about it is that I can just, you know, go forward a little bit and then back up, so it's not going to get me caught onto it. So this big hole that I made here, I kind of fell into it, got caught, and it took a bit of time to kind of fight myself out of it. And the best way to do that was to increase the power of the wheels, and I did a little bit of hopping here and there too, and that got me out of it. But with this extension, it's so much easier to just go forward and not get too caught into it, because, you know, the drill itself, once it has too much stone in it, it's way too heavy. So then that's why I put it there, so it doesn't like put my whole vehicle in the front heavy, which that did happen initially when I had 2 drills. I was driving it with my front 2 tires, similar to that. And I'm pretty much stuck now, but if I bring myself up, here we go. So that fixes the problem with getting stuck if you're drilling like kind of diagonally. So I'm not even sure what happened there. We got some weight, but not too much weight. Whoop. That just went crazy. And yeah, not sure what's going on there, but building it with the piston like that, it just makes it so much easier to like not get stuck. So that's why I did it that way. Oh, it looks like there's some bit of a clang going on, or I don't even know what that is. It's like a random tornado happening. That was weird, but it kind of fixed itself. All right, so let's not put any more weight into it because I think this thing's going a little nutty. Okay, so that happened. All right, so that's back up and running. I'm not sure why I did that. That was kind of weird. Maybe. So that's pretty much how I've been using the drill. It doesn't get too much, as I mentioned before, but it works for the most part. And luckily with the meteors that were falling there, I did find some magnesium. So I was able to build some ammo and some interior turrets. So I have 2 of them actually. So one over there and one over here to protect the base from meteors. The way I set this up, it's a little bit different from what I normally set it up. And instead of having a large radius of like 600 meters or 800 meters, I set it to like 300. I mean, I'm not sure if 300 is a good number to go by, but I definitely don't need 800 to shoot meteors that are not going to hit my base. So I set it as 300. I think I can go less. If you guys know of a better distance, let me know in the comments so I can set it up that way so I can ensure that my base doesn't get hit by a meteor. And it looks like it's storming, so that's... hopefully it's not lightning, just storm. But it looks like I want to kind of get out of here and kind of explore a little bit. So let's do that. So there's another ore deposit here, which I think I walked by before. I think there's silicone, and it's actually cobalt. So there's cobalt very close to the base, which is good. Iron over there. I didn't mind this one. I actually mind a lot further one. But you know what we can do? Since we want to explore, we can travel to the base station over there, the UVSR station, see what's there, and on the way we'll look for some ore or find some ore on the ground. So let's just head over 10 kilometers away. It's takes quite some time, but we should be able to make it, and hopefully it's not too mountainous. And I think we can probably get to the unknown signal first, and then we'll make it our way to the the station. Alright, so I stopped here because I just want to take a look at this little crater area. This looks pretty cool. It's kind of just exploring around and looking at the sceneries. Wow. It's a bit of a drop, which is not too bad. Let's see if I can get close to it and kind of see what it looks like. Hopefully I don't fall down, because if I fall down, there's no way back up. It's pretty deep, so... Let me just make a maneuver around a little bit. Take a look. Whoa, that is awesome. Wow. Take a look at that. That's a pretty awesome scenery. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of why I want to play in this planet. Just to explore the lands to see what it looks like. And that looks pretty damn cool. It's a nice little big cavernous area. It's not really a crevice, but... a nice little like hole, kind of like a almost like a Grand Canyon like thing, and you see the rocks in formation, see the mountains. This is pretty cool and a nice little view. So I'm gonna keep moving around and actually taking some screenshots of them too, just to kind of have them. So let's just keep going. Of course, we're having these little pit stops here and there, but we are still going to continue on to the the UVSR station, which is right around this crater anyway. So let's move on along. So let's travel this way, and I think there's some ore here, so let's see what this is. It's iron as well, so lots of iron so far, which is good. But again, we're probably not gonna be able to find deep enough uranium, platinum, gold, silver right now with the small Rover ore detector, or the small ore detector. Oh, this is the crevice, actually. Look at that. I don't know if I can actually get over to the economy base from here because of that. Huh, that's pretty cool. Let's take a little deep dive into it with the spectator mode really quick, just to see what it looks like. Alright, so that was pretty cool. And I'm starting to think that the station is actually across this pillar, so I have to make a bridge somehow. And I don't think I brought material. I did bring some materials, not too bad. Gotta make some kind of bridge now so I can get over. But let's try to see if I can find a more thinner pathway so that I can build a bridge, so I don't have to spend too much materials because I don't have too many. And won't be able to kind of weld them up too much if I'm using steel plates. Or maybe I can use some half blocks to do it. So hopefully that works. I gotta find a nice decent spot. Looks like nickel here. But yeah, I'm just gonna drive around and see if I can get around it. But if not, we're probably going to have to build a bridge. Okay, this is a pretty far crevice, so that's not gonna be ideal. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come back and find a way to that base sooner or later, but right now probably not the opportune time to do so. So let's just head back and start and progress a little bit more by gathering more materials, because yeah, we definitely can't get across. We could get across, we just gotta build a bridge, but I don't have enough mass to do so, so we're gonna have to wait to see what's in that economy station. In the meantime, since we've been driving so long, another unknown signal popped up, so we're just gonna go and travel and get that one. Alright, so we're back in base, and that was quite an interesting exploration. So we found some ore deposits, which is not too bad. We found out we can't get across the crevice to get to the economy base, so that's kind of sucky. But we're just gonna have to build a bridge. A random thought I had was, instead of a bridge, we can make a ramp and just ramp over it and test our luck there. Probably highly doubt I'm gonna do that, but that was an idea I had while I was just driving around. Alright, so one more thing I want to do before we kind of end the video, and it's kind of upgrading our weapons. Might be a little too early to do so, but let's see what we can do. So we can upgrade it to the enhanced grinder. So what we need here is cobalt, silicone, nickel, and iron. So I think I have that, or have some, not too much of it. So we can see if we can make it an enhanced welder, drill and everything, and see if it works out. So I got some cobalt, not from an ore deposit, but more from the meteor. So sometimes the meteors do help a little bit to kind of get all these random little things, which is perfect. So the next one is going to be like the tier 2 one, which is I think you need gold or silver, one of those, but we don't have a refinery that refines gold and silver just yet anyway. So I'm okay with just getting the tier 1 tools for now, which is perfect. It will speed up production a little bit more. Alright, so I think we should be able to put a little bit more drills in front with the wheel here. So let's just take out this drill. And we should be able to put so let's get on top of the wheels. We can put this curvature one here. Curve conveyor. We'll put a small conveyor there. Conveyor tube there. We're gonna curve it again this way. Gonna put a straight one and curve it this way. Fold it up. So now we got 2 drills, a little bit higher than what I had it before. This looks like it's gonna break eventually if I drop it. So let's put some kind of connection point here just in case. And of course we can design a little bit, and we just use these slope blocks here. There we go. So that should be okay. We should still be able to drill. So like say here, if we want to drill this out, we still can't do that. It goes down a little bit more diagonally, so that's okay. All right. So now can we make a diagonal hole from this thing? Probably. Ooh, but fall in. Probably not. But we can always test it, and we can test it right over here. So if we want to go right click, it still brings it down a tad too much. So let's just keep going this way. And I see a problem here is the moment I get down here, I'm gonna create too big of a hole, I'm gonna fall in. So yeah, again, that's not gonna work. That kind of sucks. And I might be stuck now. Unfortunately, I flipped my vehicle over from trying to get it out, so now I'm gonna have to do a gyroscope escape. I'm just gonna kind of tuck and roll, basically. Alright, we're finally free. Took some time to get out of there. Looks like the connector's broken, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, adding the gyroscope helped a bit, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but everything's just flopping down now. So that's a bit of an issue. Is there stuff in? There's nothing in the drill, so I shouldn't be doing that. Let me fix the wheels. I did play around with a lot of stuff just to try to get out of that stinking hole. Alright, so yeah, that took a bit of time. I shouldn't have tested and make that stupid ramp. Crashed a little bit of my side here because I tried to do a spin with the gyroscope, and once I hit the gyroscope at a maximum point to spin, it kind of destroyed the connector, which I was holding on to in terms of getting to control, so I lost control of it. So I ended up spinning like mad until something broke, which was the gyro. So then once I fixed that, kind of rolled around and finally got free. So yeah, probably not going to attempt doing that ever again in terms of kind of to create a diagonal tunnel downwards or diagonally downwards. It didn't seem to work well, so yeah, like I said, likely not going to do that ever again. Probably want to do that if I have like a hinge system or something similar, but not exactly how I had it done just before. So yeah, so that's going to conclude today's episode. A little bit of exploring, some mining, but we are gonna kind of collect a lot more resources, probably off camera for a bit with using the rover until I have enough to make a base mining rig. And when I do a base mining rig, it's likely gonna be up there where the cobalt and iron is, and I'll just probably make something large enough to transport all the material back. So hope that all works out, but that'll be the next episode. But today, I think I had enough of this debacle of being stuck in a hole, so I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye. Alright, so as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, this video, hit that thumbs up, like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, hit that notification bell, and of course leave us some comments.